Chapter 1970 to Nidhogg. Eowar's eyeballs exploded, forming a huge black mist in front of him. The mist quickly spread out, extending into black branches. It actually grew into a huge tree, with its thriving branches growing behind Eoya. Eowar's left eye had lost its eyeball and turned into a dark hole. He stood under the tree. A terrifying aura connected him and the tree. Something emerged from his left eye which had lost its eyeball. Hela and Loki subconsciously stepped back a few steps, because the now naked Alu was filled with an aura that made them even more afraid. Eowar was riding on the back of the eight-winged Pegasus, with the silhouette of a huge world tree floating behind him. He stared at the Crow of Doom rushing towards him, his eyes fixed on the demon-devouring spear in the Crow of Doom's hand. Then he grabbed the reins in his hand and shouted, "Go!" The eight-winged Pegasus neighed. It was one with Aulu, and was the embodiment of Aulu's will to fight. At this time, it also underwent a transformation along with its master. A dark lightning lingered on Ariai's body, and its 8 wings spread out with a bang. The huge hooves stepped on the ground and flew towards the Crow of Sin. A lightning spear condensed in Eowar's hand, with silver lightning entwined, and a special black lightning together with a silver lightning, like 2 snakes. The 2 charging parties soon collided with each other, and the demon-devouring spear of the Crow of Evil was aimed directly at Eowar's head and chopped down fiercely. Ogre raised Gungnir in his hand and fought against it without fear. The powerful lightning quickly dimmed after touching the devouring demon spear, but the black lightning fell to the ground and then pierced the body of the Crow of Evil from the ground. Since the demon-swallowing spear can suppress superpowers, isn't it enough to just avoid the edge of his spear? The black electric light quickly expanded under the Crow of Sin and instantly turned into an enormous black snake. The devouring serpent, Nidhogg. When the Crow of Doom wanted to use his gun to block the attack, Eowar's gun also smashed over fiercely. The terrifying lightning exploded directly in front of him, forming a lightning cage. The Crow of Sin was unable to concentrate on the battle and was bitten by Nidhogg on the lower body. The black snake rushed into the sky with his body and then dived down to the ground fiercely. Black electric light exploded above the earth, and the exploding black electric current swept across, and the surging black lightning submerged a large number of Crow soldiers. Eower held the reins in one hand and continued to charge forward. He knew that this thing would not be defeated so easily, and once it was trapped in a deadly situation, the Crow of Sin would split into 2 more powerful individuals. Therefore, it is necessary to control him in the first stage while ensuring that he is not killed. Regarding this, you already had a solution in mind. He raised his hands, with the silver spear Gungnir in his left hand and the black spear Nidhogg in his right hand. As the owner of the Spear of Eternity, these 2 thunder spears have the ability to never miss. Before being destroyed, we will chase the enemy to the ends of the earth. If you can withstand 2 lightning spears at once, then I will use more lightning spears to deal with you at once. I want to see how many you can withstand. The wings of the 8-winged Pegasus suddenly rose up to the sky like sharp swords. The 8-winged Pegasus is a part of Aoki, and like his body, blazing lightning filled with powerful energy appears on each wing, converging into 8 spherical lightning. Together with the 2 lightning guns in his hands, there are a total of 10 attacks. The Crow of Evil crawled out from under the earth. Nidhogg's attack also caused him serious injuries. In his first form, his combat power was only equivalent to that of a white bishop. As soon as he appeared, Odin's 10 thunder attacks broke through the air. Boom! Because of Odin's power, huge thunderclouds gathered in the sky. The speed of the 10 attacks was unimaginable. Thunder is one of the fastest energies in nature, and it surrounded the Crow of Sin in an instant. The most terrifying thing is that these thunders have self-awareness and will chase and kill the target once they lock onto it. The pupils of the Crow of Evil shrank, and he clenched the demon-devouring spear in both hands and swept it across with great force. One after another, bolts of lightning were struck down, and the black lightning broke apart and turned into giant black snakes that swallowed him. No matter how fast the Crow of Evil is, it cannot shoot down the 10th thunder in an instant. A spear of eternity hit his waist and instantly penetrated his armor. In terms of lethality and armor-piercing ability alone, Odin is definitely among the top human powerhouses. The Crow of Evil subconsciously reached out to grasp the lightning spear. But the next moment, he noticed that Odin, who was flying towards him on the 8-winged Pegasus, was clenching his fists in his direction. Boom! The lightning spear immediately burst out with a sharp lightning, and the electric current instantly rushed from the inside of the body to the entire body of the Crow of Sin. Even the Crow of Doom, who is known for his physical strength, cannot train his internal body to be as strong as armor. After all, he was still a human being, and the electric current caused him to lose control of his body. Then 2 more black snakes bit his shoulder and left leg. Boom! The electric current exploded, but it did not choose to destroy the body in front of it with the greatest power, but continued to discharge. Don't worry, I won't kill you. This level of attack is not fatal, but it will be no problem to paralyze you. Odin stared at the distorted body of Raven of Dole and said coldly, "This is his special sealing method." Loki and Hela watched Odin quickly control the Raven of Ursula and were extremely shocked. At the same time, they were also happy for Odin's transformation from the bottom of their hearts. This is their leader of Asgard, not a reckless man with only great strength, but a man with a strong enough fighting mind. No wonder the soldier was once called the Desert Fox on the battlefield. Don't be happy too soon. We still have big troubles to deal with. Loki said this to Hela. All around, they were surrounded by overwhelming numbers of Crow soldiers. They will not be afraid of fighting just because their main general is under control. Each Crow soldier is extremely difficult to deal with. Loki twisted her neck, making a creaking sound, and silently took out the huge skewer axe from behind. Give it to me. I love killing these monsters the most. A bloodthirsty light flashed in her eyes, and then she raised the battle axe in her hand and charged into the group of Crow soldiers. Chapter 1973. The Mountain of the Corrupt Country. The powerful force was vented unscrupulously. Boom! The roaring sound continued to ring out. The Black Chariot-level enhanced mutants had an overwhelming advantage over these Crow soldiers. It was like a mad lion rushing into a group of groundhogs to slaughter them. After Odin controlled the Raven of Sin, he stared at the trembling body of the phantom leader in front of him. Tell me, how do I get out of this damn place? But he did not get any answer, because the leader of the Ghost Walk represents the purest desire and will. In the dream, Mammon left only war and killing to the Crows of Evil. He didn't even know that he was just the product of the giant god's dream. Seeing the black eyes of the Raven of Doom, which showed no distractions except fighting, Odin finally realized something and gave up questioning. He condensed 2 thunder spears, erected an enormous cross on the ground, and then nailed the body of the Crow of Sin to it with 10 thunder spears. These terrifying thunders can continuously paralyze his body, ensuring that within 10 hours his strength will not weaken to the point where he cannot control the Crow of Sin. And they must find a way to leave here before the Crow of Sin wakes up. But what do we do next? Where do we go? Hela expressed her inner doubts. It is not enough to just leave this place, because there is more than one leader of the underworld in the eyes of the devil. If they were to encounter other dangers or meet 2 ghost leaders, they would really be doomed here. But no matter what, Hela was confident enough that she would not die here, so she seemed more relaxed. Odin said without hesitation, "Go find Chaos. We must get the Spear of Longinus to seal Mammon." Hela nodded and murmured softly, "That's true. I hope that guy is still alive and well now." Odin rubbed his chin irritably, frowned, and said, "If that guy is going to die, then probably none of us will survive. Absolute defense, Chaos. He is the most famous and cunning guy in the human world. He is the best in the world at saving his life and escaping. He is also cunning beyond compare, and he has a group of clever lackeys. How could such a guy die so easily?" Odin looked at the Crow soldiers in the distance, raised his right hand, and condensed a huge ball of thunder in his palm. Boom! Lightning shot up into the sky, and like branches growing from a tree trunk, it kept splitting apart. Then, With him as the foundation, a thunderworld tree spread out in the void. The thunder tree burst out with dazzling light. Lightning raged above the earth. The lightning swept across the vast earth and crashed into the army formation of the Crow soldiers. In a flash, a large number of Crow soldiers were completely blown into dust. He pulled the reins and pointed the spear in his right hand forward. "All troops, follow me and charge." With him as the tip, the entire army charged forward fiercely, and in a moment they were away from the blockade of the entire Crow army. The Khotan Empire's team consists of only 3 people: Emperor Sarath, his son, Crown Prince Amir, and Herad, a saint of the assassin sect. After leaving the main force, they entered a desert world. There was endless yellow sand everywhere. The north wind blew, and the dry and hot air rolled over their dry faces, and the wind and sand made people squint. This burning feeling is extremely unfamiliar, yet very nostalgic. After the end of the year, I haven't felt this way for a long time. Therefore, they did not feel the heat was unbearable, but instead enjoyed this rare comfort. However, there was no huge, indescribable rolling object on the sand in the distance. It was a huge ball of flesh, and it was impossible to tell what kind of creature it was. Because it was too fat, even from a distance it could be sensed that it was at least 13 meters tall. The fat skin was glistening with oil, and there were cracks of varying sizes on the skin. From the cuts on the skin, most of the internal organs flowed out like a dead body, but they just hung there, without really falling on the enemy. The leader of the mysterious journey, the mountains of the corrupt country. The 3 giants of the Khotan Empire stared at the huge and disgusting ghost leader, their eyes full of solemnity and disgust. It's just that they have been here for a long time, and the huge rotten meat mass has not shown any aggression towards them. The rotten country and the mountain are Mammon's instinct to devour everything. Its only love is eating, and it can eat everything, even the desert. The 3 people did not want to provoke this unknown creature, so they kept a distance from it and searched for a long way out in the desert. But 2 days had passed, and they hadn't found the way, but ended up here again. There seemed to be some kind of territory around the Fu Kingdom's mountains, attracting those who entered this world to return repeatedly. Amir is a tall and thin young man. He wears a veil, revealing a pair of narrow and long almond-shaped eyes. His eyes are extremely dangerous, and with the black eye shadow he deliberately applies, people feel like they have seen a devil when they see him. Even though they both wore black robes, he and his father gave people completely different feelings. He was like a killer in the shadows, while Sarada was a king who was in the shadows but exuded a domineering aura. After a long time without finding a way out of this place, Amir could not help but walk to Sarath's side, put one hand on his chest, and said respectfully, "Your Majesty, it seems that if we want to leave this area, we must start with this big guy in front of us." He stared at Sarah's back with a hint of rebellion in his eyes. "I think the way out of here should be on it." Sarah turned her head and glanced at her son, frowning slightly. His shadow can penetrate into every pore like mercury, but even so, it cannot find a way out. This means that this world, like his shadow, or the chaotic alien space, is generally an independent world. If you want to leave this kind of place, you have to find a special space node, which is the only way to connect to the outside world. Or just kill the person who created this world. Because the world is constructed by the thoughts of the person with special abilities. When the person with special abilities dies, the thoughts will disappear. This guy is not that easy to deal with. Sarah reminded her son in a deep voice, "Don't forget how we got to this place. The guy in front of you should be on the same level as the crow and giant baby in front of you." Dear viewers, thanks for staying with me. We'll try to get you more updates. Please like and subscribe and share the video with your friends. Love you all.